let's meet tonight's table. In seat number 9 from Dallas, Texas, Keto Pham. In seat number 8 from Lafayette, Louisiana, Eric Cloutier. Brooklyn Dan from Los Angeles is in seat number 7. In seat number 6 from New Orleans, Louisiana, Brandon Adams. In seat number 5, Bill Gustavic from San Ramon, California. In seat number 4 from right here in Las Vegas, Ralph Perry. In seat number 3, Tom Schneider from Phoenix, Arizona. Dustin Dirksen is in seat number 2. And in seat number 1 from Los Angeles, California, Cash Poker's own Chad Brown. Hello and welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Cash Poker. My name is Brian Malika, and joining me in the booth for all of tonight's action is none other than top poker pro, Christy Gazes. Christy, welcome back.
Thank you, Brian. How's it going?
I am excellent, thank you very much.
I like it, Keto.
It's all right to fold.
Keto getting it started right with a live straddle. That's a raise before the cards were even out.
Keto is a very aggressive player in tournaments, and he plays a very, very high-stakes game in Texas.
Hey, wow. You'll come after my straddle?
This is full color.
Chad, not intimidated by the straddle, bumps it up to 1100 with pocket fours. Dustin calling with 6-8 suited.
Keto straddled, so he's got to put a little more in.
Will I make side bet? Of course.
It's funny, a lot of players like to straddle the first hand just to give the illusion of action, too, to get more action and then play tight after that.
Nothing much for anybody. Chad's pocket fours still good.
Chad's got a pair, so he's going to bet it.
2,500 is the bet from Chad.
They might publish them on the site.
Dustin is primarily an online player, so a lot of these pros at the table may not be able to get a read on him for a little while.
Yeah, he definitely has a good poker stance.
Yeah, I give you 3-1.
And he is using that mysterious background to his advantage as he bumps it up to 8,000 on a stone-cold bluff.
This is a really tough spot for Chad, obviously. He probably has to dump it. Just started playing with this guy. He has a lowly pair of fours and took his shot, although I wouldn't put past Chad of making a play at any time.
It's almost as though Chad smells a rat here, but it's a little too expensive for him to find out.
Showing bluff. This is my only one tonight.
Oh, and look at that. Dustin's going to show the bluff.
One.
Is that the only bluff you're going to make, or the only one you're going to show?
Actually, I take that back. I can't help myself. I'll make at least 10 bluffs.
Yeah, I want to clarify.
And I'm probably going to lose money. I'm used to playing about 6 tables, so one table I get antsy.
Dustin is going to follow Keto's lead with a live straddle of his own. And Christy, what do you think of Dustin's strategy of showing his cards? I mean, he had that advantage of no one really knowing him or how he plays. Do you think maybe he should have kept that a secret?
Maybe, but, you know, again, he wants to create some kind of table image, and that's what he's trying to do by showing.
Oh, man. Give me that hand.
Hey, you play tight.
Danny mucking an ace-9 offsuit accidentally flipped his cards up, which is a huge relief to Tom because one of those dreaded aces that could have cracked his kings is now in the muck.
These live players are so tight.
Brandon hits top pair on the flop with his 10s. Of course, Tom's kings are still best. Dustin's got to be crying here as he saw that ace from Danny.
Brandon wants to see where he's at with his top pair, decides to jack it up a little bit.
2,200 is the raise from Brandon. Action folds around to Tom.
Let's see if Tom wants to slow it down, let Brandon see another card.
Oh, no, it's Brandy. It's the other one. She's from Los Angeles.
I like that idea from Canada.
With the 2 hearts out there, it wouldn't shock me to maybe see Tom fire back, a little bit of a re-raise situation, but elects to just make the call.
He's playing this hand very slow.
Another heart on the turn. Tom now picked up the nut flush draw, and of course, he knows it because Danny exposed the ace of hearts. And there is the flush.
Doesn't get much better than this for Tom. He's just trying to think of a number that Brandon could possibly call.
I'm sure Tom would have been happy with just his kings. Now he picked up the nut flush. That's even better. Bets out very conservative, a value bet here, 2,500. He's looking for a call from Brandon.
Brandon's going to pass, smartly so.
With 4 hearts on the board, as well as an overcard and the queen, Brandon has to figure this 10 is worthless now, and he throws it away.
The action keeps heating up, so stay with us for some more Cash Poker. Welcome back to Cash Poker. Let's get back to the action.
All right, we're here with Dustin Dirksen. Now, how you feeling about tonight's game?
I'm pretty tired. I was up late last night playing blackjack, degeneracy, and we'll see what happens. I mean, these guys suck, so it should be all right. I play almost all online, and so I think I'm at like a disadvantage a little bit, just because all these old guys have been playing live for 40 years, and I think I'm probably better at poker than they are, but not at live poker, and so hopefully I can make the adjustment.
Another live straddle as we start this handoff. Tom this time. Christy, what's the advantage of a live straddle? Seems kind of risky. You're raising before you even have any cards.
It's just to get the game out of the muck, as we say. Let's get it going. Let's gamble up a little bit. And it does. Straddles do seem to change the whole nature of the game.
Well, Brandon's going to get some action as he re-raises it up to 1,400 with ace-10 offsuit. Keto will call with 10-9 suited. Dustin picks up Jack-Queen from the big blind. He will call. And good news for Tom as he straddled and actually picked up a hand, Ace-Queen for Tom. Good news for Dustin on the flop as he hits top pair with his jacks.
This is a good spot for Dustin. Because of his aggressive bluff earlier, now he can kind of say, hey, I'm just gambling here. Take that. Let's make a big bet and see if anyone bites.
Makes a $4,700 bet as if to say, guys, you know I'm bluffing. I showed you last time. Please call me.
Keto's thinking about it with his middle pair here. Nope, he passes.
Keto makes it official with the fold, and Dustin pulls down another pot. That's 2, and we're very early in tonight's action. No straddle this time. We're going to have to get a raise the old-fashioned way. We'll see if Ralph obliges. Nope, he folds his ace-4.
Obviously, Brandy hasn't seen my cards because I'm not doing much battling or anything.
Bill complaining about his meek holdings with the Jack-Deuce.
Queen-9 suited for Brandon. And he's going to bump it up. 450 is the raise.
Brandon seems to be an aggressive, creative player. And I like these kind of hands myself. Queen-9, Jack-9 suited. They're sort of mystery hands. Hard to really define with the raise coming in.
Keto picks up suited connectors once again and will play them once again. 5-6 of diamonds. King 10 of hearts for Chad. He'll call from the button, as will Dustin from the small blind with King Jack. And Ace Jack for Tom in the big blind.
So many similar hands here. Should be an interesting battle going in.
We are going to have 5-way action, in fact. And Chad pairs his 10, top pair.
See if Brandon follows through.
Brandon has picked up a gut shot straight draw and will bet out 1,400.
Interesting to see what Chad does, if he raises it or just calls.
Elects to just call. Are you at all surprised with that call? There is a couple of draws out there.
It does surprise me from Chad, especially being a very aggressive player and having position. And maybe he's just checking this kid out, seeing what he's going to do on the turn. The kid picks up a pretty nice draw on the turn with the spade.
Now a flush draw to go along with his gut shot straight draw as we continue heads up between Brandon and Chad.
I really like this bet by Brandon, just following through and saying, hey, yeah, I got it. For some reason, it seems as though Chad doesn't believe him here.
No, Chad with the immediate call of Brandon's $3,000 bet. Going into the river with all those draws, Brandon hits none of them, and I think Chad might feel a little more confident at this point.
the check on the end especially, just showing the cards are fine. My hand's good. He put him on a draw clearly on the turn. And he was right. Score another one for downtown Chad Brown.
And Chad will happily drag in that $11,000 pot. Brandon will be under the gun this hand as Bill has elected to live strat. A lot of action here.
The straddle gets it going. It's got this game out of the muck into the real action game, like these boys like.
Keto pops it up to 1,200 with Queen Jack.
Uh-oh.
And look at that, Ralph. Pocket aces in the big blind.
Ralph won a World Series bracelet in Omaha. He's made the final table of the main event at the World Series. Plays very high limit poker. He's a great player.
Very well respected, and when he makes a $5,200 re-raise, I think some people are going to listen.
I like the kind of look behind his back. Casual, I have nothing glance.
What's your first hand play?
Nice fold by Keto.
Who woke Ralph up?
And I think Ralph more than happy to drag down that pot without having to take a chance of his aces getting cracked.
Standing ovation from the crowd.
Let's not go that far, Chad.
Settle down.
Christy, you've played with a few of these guys before. Any inside info you can give us?
It's interesting with Keto, he's a very super aggressive player in the tournaments. Cash games, he seems to be playing relatively snug and just sort of the tighter aggressive mode, which is really a great strategy for somebody like Keto because he has the table image of just a maniac. A maniac that can play, of course.
Raise.
Oh, hey, sir. That's a very good hand. Oh, no.
Interesting situation here. Dustin limped in with King Jack. Danny picked up the same hand but suited on the button and bumped it up to 700.
In Dallas, when we play and, you know, somebody like you doing that, we call ding, 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 ding.
Keto's got a pair. He's going to see if he can flop the joint here.
Pocket threes from the big blind.
If we call a loose, I'm going to do it, sir.
Mystery Man USA calls.
Speaking of Mystery Man, he refuses to tell anybody where he's from, so he truly is a mystery, as both Dustin and Danny pair their kings on the flop, but that ace out there might be a little bit scary.
1,500.
I like this bet by Dan. Follow it up. Play the button.
They have the same hand.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh, nice bet by Brooklyn Dan as he bets Dustin off the exact same hand. Well done.
I had a pair. I don't want to. I hate folding the pair.
One thing for sure, you know what's better than ace-9?
Was it?
Uh-oh, watch out. Dan's becoming a poker player
Well, it
now.
could have been like 6-8 of clubs or something. I don't know.
Watch out, everyone.
All right. I folded a king. It's a pretty big fold for me.
Good trick. You should have ace-9.
I'm here with Tom Schneider. Are you prepared? Did you have any special strategies coming in here?
Yeah, I had a hamburger at the snack bar, and it was awesome.
Who would you like to see at your table today?
I'd like to have Lane Flack at my table. He's a lot of fun to play with, and I own him, so that would be fun.
That's a fun bet. It's not fun, yeah? So I can tease him about something.
Eric first to act with pocket threes. Eric will make the call. As will Keto with 7-5 of spades. More spades for Chad, King 3 as he makes the call. As will Dustin with 8-5 offsuit. Ace Queen for Tom. 4 players have just limped in before him, possibly a raising situation for him here.
He could probably pick up all this money right here if he wants to put in a decent-sized raise.
I'm just going to call. You scared me.
And look at that, Ralph folds ace-9 offsuit with that many players in the pot. Wouldn't you think that's a very playable hand?
It could be for Ralph a superstitious thing, or he doesn't like the hand. Maybe he senses something, but, you know, with all that money in there, it is a surprising fold.
Well, other than Ralph, it is a family pot. 8 players going into this flop. And Chad's going to get the best of it as he pairs his king.
These are one of those flops that you want to play very carefully because you do not want to go broke in an unraised pot, especially in a cash game.
Chad bets out 500. And keep an eye on Tom. He picked up a straight draw here with his ace-queen. Needs a 10 for a straight. And he's going to stick around, hope to get it.
That's a fine call by him. He's got plenty of money in there to call, to justify a call.
That should be enough to get all the other players out. As with all those players, very surprising, only two getting a piece of that flop. And there it is. That is the 10 Tom needed.
Looks like it might be Tom's day today.
Chad checks it to him. Playing very cautiously. Maybe he's got something on Tom.
It's also a dangerous board out there. It's a nice little bet by Tom. Kind of, come on in, the water's warm, Chad.
Trying to milk some chips off Chad, as Tom does have the nut straight here.
These two look like they've played before.
Check it.
Chad was drawing dead after the turn. Obviously that 9, no help.
Tom's just trying to figure out how much money can I get out of Chad.
Bets out 3,000, about 75% of the pot.
You may want to bet a little less just to sort of get a little more action out of Chad.
That was a great laydown by Chad. He had top pair, but you could tell right on the turn he sensed something was up with Tom, and he lays it down.
He's got the championship bracelet on, so
You know, maybe I'm not interested because I promised my wife everything I win, I give it to her. So I'm playing for nothing.
Trying to lose, yeah.
Maybe dinner.
Oh, to be married to a gambler.
Dustin picked up Queen Jack, and he raises it up to 300.
She is your safe deposit box.
Three-five suited for Brandon. He's in late position, and he's reaching for chips. He's going to bump it up to 1,600. We have seen him play small cards like this aggressively on past episodes of Cash Poker.
He seems to like these baby suited connectors. Unfortunately for him this time, Eric has 2 ladies in his hands.
3, 2, 1, go.
And he's just going to call.
Another interesting play. Smooth calling with queens here.
Brandon is hoping for rags on the flop as we are heads up. He does hit bottom pair, still well behind. As Eric will bet out 2,000.
That was a really, really fast bet. It looked like he was very strong there.
Show a bluff, Eric. Come on.
Brandon picked up on it. He got away from his bottom pair. If you are just joining us, welcome to Cash Poker. My name is Brian Malika alongside Christy Gazes.
Hello, baby.
Ralph under the gun, pocket rockets. It's a beautiful thing.
Just sly, looking around. I don't have anything again.
He just makes the call. Being first to act with 8 players after you, wouldn't you think maybe a small raise, try and chase a few limpers out?
That's an interesting point, Brian. In this game, I would say yes, definitely, because it seems to be a lot of limping. So you'd think he maybe want to sort of protect them. But then again, he's a crafty enough player to be able to play the aces after the flop if everyone does decide to limp on in.
That's the better part about it right there.
And there is plenty of limping. Danny with King Jack, Eric with 10-3, Keto with pocket 4s, Chad ace-7 suited, Dustin Queen 9 suited, and Tom checks the big blind with King Deuce. And look at that, everybody seems to get a little bit of this. Tom and Danny each hit top pair.
Tom's gonna put a little tiny bet there.
That's the minimum bet, 150. I guess just kind of wants to see where he stands.
I would expect a relatively decent-sized raise from Ralph here, although he seems to be playing very slow this hand.
It's unusual. You don't see it in this.
Oh, we do get a raise, 600, so maybe not quite as big as you'd think.
a raise.
Re-raise.
And now Danny firing back. He has top pair with a jack kicker.
This is a super aggressive play by Dan. Really nice play.
1,800 is the raise from Dan.
Especially in this limp situation. He's trying to represent 3 threes here, or a huge hand.
That'll be enough to get Chad out of the way.
So they're all giving Dan massive respect here, so he's playing his table image really well.
It folds around to Ralph, still holding the best hand with pocket aces.
Really don't know what he's thinking about here. I mean, Ralph is the kind of player who could possibly throw this hand away. It is, after all, only a pair.
He lays it down. Great aggressive re-raise from Brooklyn Dan, and Ralph folds pocket aces. But Christy, it's like you were saying, if you're going to limp in with pocket aces, you have to be ready to throw them away.
Absolutely.
All right. Pocket nines.
Who's this?
No.
I'm still kind of reeling from Ralph's laydown on that last hand. Have you ever laid down a monster like that?
Yes, I think you have to lay down in this game to be a professional player. You really must lay down a lot of winners. It's tough, but you must be disciplined when you play this game. You can't call down every time and keep them honest. That strategy really doesn't make any money in the end.
Good advice. Eric will make the call, pocket sevens.
There's an argument here for maybe raising with a small pair. Kito's going to take that position and raise it up with my favorite hand, Jack 9 offsuit.
500 is the raise from Quito. Chad picked up the exact same hand as the last one, ace 7 of hearts. He calls.
And Ralph, thinking about his aces, probably still like, what happened there?
He wants no part of this hand. He's too busy brooding. Eric will remain in the pot with his sevens, and we are three-handed going into the flop. And Quito gets the best of this flop, top pair with his jacks, although keep an eye on Chad as he does have the nut flush draw.
Check it. Check it. So that'll probably make some sort of bet here. Oh, he's about to take a free card.
Checks around, we're going to see a free turn. And Chad loving that one. 2 of hearts completes his flush.
Quito really doesn't know where he's at here. A little feeler out there.
He does throw $1,000 into the pot. Chad, of course, not going anywhere, and elects to just call.
It's a nice call against Quito. A lot of players will go mad here and try to raise or play fancy, but sometimes just playing straight up poker a lot of times gets the money. Funny enough.
10 of diamonds on the river. Quito has top pair. You think he should bet out? Well, he's going to check.
It smells a little something, but I don't think he really knows. It's tough against Chad, who opens a lot of pots and could have anything here.
Chad's going to bet out $3,500. That's a pot-sized bet.
Looks like Quito might be thinking about calling here. He just doesn't believe Chad for some reason. Chad's trying to look nervous, you know, the reverse tell.
Oh, but Quito is going to look him up. And there's the bad news. And those hearts will earn Chad an $11,000 pot.
The competition is getting fierce. Stay tuned, because we'll be right back.
Just as a reminder, the blinds are $75-150 with a $25 ante. Unlike in tournament poker, cash poker, the blinds and antes do remain the same. As we see Eric limp in with ace-queen offsuit, and look at Quito bumping it up with 8-9 offsuit.
Yeah, it looks like Quito's shifting gears, as they say. He's been playing very snug poker up to this point. Looks like everyone else is sort of following suit now. Instead of limping, they're all folding.
Interesting how the whole flow of the table has sort of changed.
Now I see why you hate to limp, Eric.
We're going to be heads up going into this flop and 3 4s.
That's something you don't see every day.
Eric's got to be feeling pretty good with his ace, hoping Quito doesn't have a pocket pair. Don't think it matters, as that queen on the turn gives Eric a boat.
Interesting check on the flop by Quito. He decides to follow through this time, but again, the timing's a little off for him.
Raise 2,000. Raise 2,000. I can raise 2,000. Just 2,000.
when Eric starts talking to Keto is probably, as soon as the first word comes out, the hand might as well be in the muck, because Eric hasn't said a word. Now all of a sudden he's speaking up. He's got a story to tell.
It's amazing how a monster hand will make you feel chatty.
Yeah. I think whatever your personality style is, you should probably stick to that when you're playing poker.
Eric does come over the top. 4,000 is the raise.
Absolutely, obviously, no way Keto can call here. Jeopardy clock's going off in his head, waiting for the next hand. Sort of saving face.
And there he goes. Don't worry, Keto. No one will know your secret. Unless they watch TV, of course. Keto's going to be under the gun this hand as Eric decides to straddle. Haven't seen that maneuver in a while.
Again, this game, it seems a little Twilight Zone-ish, Ryan, doesn't it? It's a very interesting cast of characters here today.
Chad picks up pocket deuces.
Another favorite of mine. It's so deceptive. You flop the set with the deuces. I've raked in some huge pots with this hand.
Chad hoping to do the same as he pops it up to 1,200. Brandon, in the small blind, has picked up a hand himself, ace-queen, and he looks as though he might be considering a re-raise.
It's probably hard for Brandon because he usually gets such tiny cards. Ace-queen, he probably doesn't know what to do because it's so rare that nice cards seem to find him.
Yeah, he's used to raising with 3-5.
That's right.
Need help, Brandon?
Yeah, I need some help.
He does come over the top, 3,500 total.
That's a really big re-raise. It almost looks like a tournament here, the way this hand's gone down.
Eric with the straddle has to fold.
Chad is very clever.
23 more.
He probably could almost call his hand, but he's also checking out his chip stack, it looks like,
16.
to see just how deep he is. He's asking him for a count to see if he wants to take a shot at this pot. Probably smells something with the massive overraise. He probably puts him on a hand like ace-queen, and he's hoping that babies will come on the flop and you can take it down.
Ace on the flop, Brandon top pair. Forget the chips, he's going for the cash.
This is cash poker. He said, take that, Chad, downtown.
4,000 is the bet from Brandon, and I think this has gone far enough. We're going to see Chad fold this hand.
He's got to let the ducks go. He had great instincts, though, Chad, that hand, just kind of putting him where he was at, and he was correct.
How's been the play at your table going right now? I've noticed you've been pretty aggressive and you've pulled some major pots.
Yeah, I mean, the table looks good. I think it's, I kind of set up a good image. I made a couple hard moves. I made a couple, you saw the bluffs. And so hopefully if I can catch some cards, it'll be, it could be good. It could play some big pots. I think in the next couple hours, I'm going to either double up. My stack's about 40K. I think I'm going to go up to like 80, or I'm going to bust, just depending on what happens. So hopefully it goes up.
The thing about me, I live on here all the time, but I'm never outside. I'm always at the casino. Now that I live here, it might be different.
Action folds around to Dustin. He picked up pocket nines, and he is going to bump it up to 600. Bill on the button.
Bill. Hello, Bill.
King Jack, haven't seen much from Bill lately. Forgot he was there.
I think Bill changed his shirt, actually, from the beginning. He had to put on a darker shirt. The white wasn't going well for him.
Poker players are a superstitious lot, so that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Heads up, guys.
Bill with the dark shirt and Mr. Internet. Let's see how they play this.
Heads up going into the flop, and what a flop it is for Bill.
Heads up, guys.
Dustin's actually in a world of trouble here. If he's hoping to get a set with his nines, he is out of luck as both Danny and Eric folded a nine.
I like the bet from Bill because it really doesn't look like he has a jack.
Dustin makes the call. Dustin now has outs. He is on a flush draw.
I would like to see a pretty big size bet from Bill here.
2,200.
Kind of a weak bet, in my opinion. I think that Bill should have really tried to protect his hand a little bit more.
Table was cold, huh?
And we'll see if it comes back to bite him as Dustin calls. And the fourth heart on the river. Dustin makes his flush. Both players are going to check, and you can see the frustration on Bill's face.
Yeah, I don't even want to show it.
It's tough in this game because you want to trap, but a lot of times you end up trapping yourself, and this is the case in this hand, unfortunately, for Bill.
Ugly.
I thought that only happened on the internet.
Man. You're killing me. Woo!
Brandon will be first to act. He picks up Big Slick, Ace King offsuit.
We're playing Omaha after this.
And elects just to limp in with it.
I don't mind the limp there. Ace King in a cash game, there's a lot of limping usually with the Ace King. More so than in tournament.
What you mean after that?
After, you know.
After the whole thing, yeah.
Raise it, make it 12.
Eric limps in with King 4 suited, but Keto's got a hand. Pocket jacks, bumps it up to 1,200.
Chad just wants to play.
He sure does. I don't know if he looked at his cards. He didn't show us, but I guess they were good enough to think about as he throws them in. Folds around, back to Brandon with his Ace King.
Interesting hand here. Let's see what he's going to do.
Re-raise, make it 3,400.
He comes back over the top, $4,400 re-raise.
4,400.
I'm not really crazy about this play, but he is a very aggressive player. This is kind of a tournament-style limp come over the top. But he also knows that Keto could have anything. Chooses just to call here, which I don't mind at all with the jacks.
Those jacks just got a whole lot better. Keto flops a set. Brandon's going to be first to act. Let's see what he does here. $6,000 is the bet. Keto's got to be loving every bit of this.
Yeah, this is where a player like Keto could get paid off.
20,000.
$20,000 from Keto.
Really looks like he's on a flush drop.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit too much as Brandon's going to fold Ace King.
Be good for the game, Keto. Be good for the
I'm
game.
real good. If you watch TV and you see I flop, I'm sorry, okay? It's just a game. All you guys are really nice.
Anyway, I can't wait to see that on TV.
Trust me, every time you lay down against me is a good lay down.
Words to live by.
Do you want to play cash poker? We'll go to ultimatepokerchallenge.com for the details. Stay tuned. There's more to come.
I got a top set.
Brandon fishing for information, and Keto doesn't seem shy at all. He'll tell you exactly what he has.
Yeah, ace king, he's got a pocket pair. It's either queens or jacks. I mean, there's a chance he had tens, but the jack had to be, you had to hate seeing that jack.
Action folds around to the always mysterious Dustin.
But again, I might have 7 deuce offsuit.
And he's going to raise 600.
I'll find out in a couple weeks.
Ralph King Jack suited will make the call.
That's Mazow's favorite move, right?
That will be enough to chase everybody else out. Heads up going into the flop. Ralph gets a piece here. He's on a straight draw. And of course he has the best hand with his king high. But it is Dustin who's reaching for chips, 1,300.
He's taking a shot here. It's a good bet. Ralph senses something. These plays are really amazing. They kind of linger in the twilight zone for a while, then they kind of wake up and say, he doesn't have anything.
Want to talk about tough to figure out? Ralph, who folded aces earlier, now comes over the top 3,800 with nothing but a draw and gets Dustin to fold.
This is Poker 101 here, but a class that you probably can't take anywhere. It just comes from years of playing.
I think I double checked. I almost swears the fight when I lost.
Chad is under the gun as Keto, much like he did in the very first hand of the evening, elects to live straddle.
Keto's philosophy looks like he got to give action to get action, so he's putting it out there again to create a little action in this game.
Ace-6 suited is good enough for Dustin as he makes the call. Ace-7 lays it down.
But it's suited, Brian.
Brandon is on the button. He picked up King-10 suited, also in diamonds. And he's going to use his position, bumps it up to 1,300.
Brandon seems to be zigging when he should be zagging today. Sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. He's dominated with the diamonds here.
Dustin calls, heads up going into the flop, and if there's diamonds, there's going to be a lot of action. Well, no diamonds, although Dustin, 2 pair, 6s and 4s.
1,400.
Bets out 1,400.
His timing is just really off today.
Dustin makes the call.
You never know it now.
And things just got a whole lot better for Dustin as that 6 gives him a full house, 6s over 4s.
My first contest, I was 25. No, before.
Oh,
18.
Nice bet here by Dustin.
1,800, definitely looking for a call.
You know what, when I started, I was 5'8", 135.
I don't really know what Brandon's thinking here. Just calling with king high, I don't like it.
But I competed about.
I think even I would have laid this hand down. He has no pair, no draw. He's holding on to just 2 overcards, and he makes the call.
I don't think he believes Dustin here. He's maybe trying to set him up for a big play on the end. That's why the bet out with the full house is a nice bet.
I don't think Dustin's going to give him a chance to make a play on the river.
8,000.
I do like this bet too. Kind of looks really funny if Brandon was trying to take him off it. Now he doesn't know where the heck he's at.
8,000, just under a pot-sized bet from Dustin. And as we said, Christy, I don't see any way Brandon makes this call. I mean, even if you think he's lying, how can you call with king high?
He's got to give it up. He probably had some other intentions on the turn, but unfortunately, Dustin's just putting him to the test here. Almost looking like a bluff. Brandon thinks Dustin's bluffing.
I call.
You call?
Yeah, just learning over the
I'll show you one.
Unfortunately, Brandon can't even beat a bluff.
I had King 10.
That's sick. If you could.
I had King 10. Well, no, I thought the river was going to go check, bet, fold. And then you bet the river. I'm like, well,
tough break and a beautiful hand for Dustin.
You gotta let me win one pot here. I'm getting beat up all night. Thank you. That's a good
And Dustin couldn't be happier as he wins the first and last hand of tonight's episode of Cash Poker.
Oh, you're a nice guy.
Christy, my Cash Poker Hold'em highlight of the day started when Ralph elected to slow play his pocket aces from first position and just limped in, allowing 6 other players to join him on the flop. A very aggressive re-raise by Danny, who hit top pair with his kings and brought it up to 1,800. When the action got back to Ralph, he began to regret his slow play, thinking maybe someone jumped in with King 8 or King 3 and got 2 pair or even a set and threw away his pocket aces. An unbelievably tight laydown as Ralph threw in the best hand.
The UPC Hold'em Highlight is brought to you by All In Magazine, the world's leading poker magazine.
And that's how we do it here at Cash Poker. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to come back and see us again. I'm Brandy Williams. See you then. Good night.